Hey everyone, it is Jack again with Toy Dojo, and today we're going to be taking a look at the WeiJang Alcee, or it's not going to be their representation because they didn't come up with it, but if you know anything about WeiJang, they'll take something that Hasbro and or Takara has currently done, and they'll make it bigger, and then, put it out. So MP10 was the first one they did. They made that one a lot bigger, made it the size of like MP01, and then made a big trailer for it. You know, not really made the trailer, but you get what I'm saying. So they'll take something and they'll make it larger, and that's the case they did here with Arcee. They call her Alcee, but they basically took Generations Arcee, made her bigger to fit in with the Masterpiece line. Is she a Masterpiece figure? No, she's not, because obviously she's just a Generations figure that was a deluxe size, and just made her, you know, larger to fit in that scale. But by no means does she fit in with that line, because I mean, the deluxes don't fit in the Masterpiece line to begin with. Just because you upscale something and make it larger does not make it a Masterpiece, in my opinion. So anyways, moving along. I meant to do, it's been a while since I've done a review, and the review I was going to do was MP36 Masterpiece Megatron. And so Toy Dojo got it, and I drove down. I was actually down in San Antonio for work, and I was heading back up towards the Dallas area. So I swung by Toy Dojo, I picked it up, and on my way back up to my place in Arlington, I stopped by a gas station and was putting in gas, and I had to go to the restroom. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go inside. Well, I go inside, I come back out, my Toy Dojo bag is gone with my MP36, and I'm thinking, what the heck? So I'm freaking out. Like, you know, of course, first thing is I'm looking around like, you know, is your guy still here? Is the person still here? Don't see anything, nothing. So I go inside, I talk to the cashier, and I'm like, hey, my car just got broken into. You know, do you guys have a camera? Of course, he had a camera there, but he says, oh, well, it doesn't work. You know, it's just for show. And in my head, I'm thinking like, wow, seriously? So, but it's my fault. I mean, I left the door unlocked and, went inside. So, my fault, but still, just because you leave your door unlocked does not give anybody the right to go inside your vehicle and take something that doesn't belong to them. They didn't pay for it, and so it does not give them the right. So it really upset me, but, I mean, it is what it is. They obviously needed it more than I did. So if you happen to, and I doubt it, but if you happen to be watching this video and you're the person that stole it, you know what? You stole it from me. So whatever that means. So anyways, get off of that. But that was going to be the one I was going to do. Didn't get to. So now I'm going to do Alcee here. And then I got a couple more. I got the X-Transbots Hoist. And I forget his name right now. Trailbreaker. That I'm going to also review after this. And so hopefully I can get all these videos up before Friday or Saturday. And I know these have been done by other reviewers before. But still, I'm just going to give my take on it and see what my thoughts are on it. So anyways, let's go ahead and go on with this. So looking at the backs here, the box here, not the backs, the box here, you can see it's a nice box. It says Robot Force right here on the side, Deformation Era, WeiJang, and then Alcee support figures. I like this foil type print they do on these boxes. It looks really cool. I like collecting boxes, so this would be a cool box to get if I decide to get this figure. So flipping it around to the back here, we can see the toy itself. They make this into like a big shield. I'm not a fan of this right here. It just looks like the top of a car there. So there's a way you can just make this piece into a shield by itself and not really mess with this here. So we'll go into that when we go into transformation. Robot Force on the side. And then that picture of Prime right here on the back, which is kind of cool. And then I don't know, she must have seen something scary because she looks like she is like deathly afraid right there. So, and then of course a lot of Chinese on the bottom there, or Japanese, whichever one it is. To get the box out of the way, there she is right there. She also comes with instructions, which if you've transformed the Generations figure of Arcee, you don't need these instructions. So realistically, you don't need them either way because it's a simple figure to transform for the most part. She comes packaged in robot mode, but I have her in car mode, and that's the way we're going to start off with. So again, if you've transformed this before, you know it, and you don't really need to see a transformation. So I'm just kind of bringing in the Generations 1, just so we can kind of see the way they look together, what similarities they have, what differences. Obviously similarities are going to be, this is the actual This one here is actually this one here just upscaled. So there's no surprises of, hey, what did they change? It really didn't change much at all. So paint apps, added some die cast, and then that's about it. So the first glaring difference if we look at it again is the paint. You can see the different color paints over here and over here. Even on the weapons here, they added this like a kind of a gunmetal gray onto the swords here instead of just the all translucent blue there. On the bottom though, again, still the same thing as far as the way it transforms. So different color guns, but that's it, and just different colors up here. But again, like I said, just because you upscale something does not mean that it's a masterpiece. So it just fits in with the masterpiece shelf. It's not very expensive. I think this one is $39.99. So I think it's a good price to get one into your collection if you're one that wants to have a masterpiece RC in there for now, and it was as a placeholder. Be a good figure to get as a placeholder until somebody comes out with an actual MP RC. So, all right, and then you can see the size difference between these two here. Obviously, RC is a lot bigger, or Alcee is a lot bigger than RC. We can see that right there. So, let's look at Alcee with the Masterpiece car. I have Masterpiece G2 Sideswipe, and just kind of give you an idea of the size of them together. We can see right there that she is bigger, right up here starting here and up to that tip. She's bigger than he is. And as far as width, I would say they're probably the same width actually. If we go down to where her legs are right here, the same width. So just kind of give you a general idea of what she looks. Let me take these off here. I never actually liked them right there. I prefer them more up here on the top like that. I think that looks a lot better. So let me put those up there for right now. Okay. So anyways, just kind of give you a general idea of how she scales next to him. Right there. And then I'm going to bring in, this is the KFC, I think it was Junkyard, what's his name? Or was Junkyard, I can't remember. Junkyard. Yeah, I think it was, I don't know, whatever it was. The KFC version. I did a review on them, but I forget their names now. So obviously, that's not the right scale. I mean, there is no way that a motorcycle is going to be that much bigger than a vehicle, a car. So that's not a right scale. But again, you're taking a robot and turning him into a motorcycle, so they had to make it that big. And I love these guys, by the way. All right, we're just going to go ahead and transform her up real quick, and then kind of look at the way she looks in her robot mode and compare her to let me zoom in a little bit. Compare it to the Hasbro version of Arcee. And this one rolls, but sometimes, like, depending on how these wheels are aligned, you kind of have to almost shift the body a little bit just to get them kind of flat. Another thing before we go into transformation that I was looking at, and I see what they tried to do there, but it really didn't work out. So we see right here, they put these little pegs right there on both sides, and they're supposed to kind of, it looks like they're supposed to peg into those peg holes that are right inside there. Right there and right there, but it doesn't work. So you can't really get them to peg in. So I see what they try to do to get this thing kind of more together. And maybe I'm not doing it right, but I just couldn't get these close enough to where it would peg into itself. So maybe that's something, if you guys have this figure and you know how it's done, let me know. If not, then, well, I guess it's just not supposed to be done. So that's what it looks like it's supposed to be, but I just can't get that done. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started with transformation. First, we'll start by taking the weapons off. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I think I'm a little bit too close. Let's see how that is right there. Alright, so first let's take these weapons off. And stay in focus there, camera. Come on. I'm not doing anything crazy. Now, these are a little bit tight inside there. So, but you just get them. There we go. Get the gun off there. Take off our hands. Take this gun out as well. Get all this stuff up out of the way. Pull the legs down. Like this. Zoom out some more. There we go. Pull the legs down some more on this side here. And then we're just going to start breaking everything apart up here. So the one thing is that's cool is they made it to where you could not have, and it comes packaged without the without this piece on right here, the hood piece, and this back piece. It comes packaged not onto it. So You can transform it with or without it on. It's completely up to you, however you want to do it. I think the instructions, if I remember correctly, want you to transform it with it on, but you can take it off. I mean, it's no big thing as to why you cannot have it off as you transform it. Because all you gotta do is simply, this plugs in right there. We'll zoom in on that. So it plugs into this spot right here, and that can pop off. And I'll show you that here in a second. We're gonna pop it off because I don't really care for it on there. So let me see. Take that, just you have to get into it, and there you go. And this pops right off. So it's just little friction pegs that are right there. I don't think we're gonna be able to see. I think it's too dark in there. You can kind of see it right there a little bit. One on either side, and this pops into there, and you can take it on and off that way. So, well, let's see what the heck happened there. So again, just start transforming her down. So we talked about die cast, and so what's die cast on her are the thighs right here. You can feel this. This is metal right here, and the rest of this down here is plastic. So gives her some good weight to her, which is great because they want her to be kind of like an MP figure, and so why not put some weight onto her? And not that she needed it, because I mean she had some huge hips, and she still does in this figure. So, and then this right here can pop off too if you want. We'll take it off just because. And let's see, it comes off. There we go. This whole thing has to come down. So we'll just take that off just like that. That's gonna pop on and off right there. You can see where these two little clips are. Those clip into right up in here. And so that keeps on there. And then these two right here will go into those two holes right there. So take all this, just fold it all back like so, and get all this. Let me see if I can get on camera here better. I mean, you guys know this transformer, this transformation. You've seen it before if you have an RC figure. So come on. Again, what do I always say when I'm trying to do a review? Something always starts to act up, and it's never just 100% easy. Let's see what the heck am I doing wrong here? I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. Right up here, here we are. That's why this thing's not popping out. There we go, pop that out right there. And hopefully it's not being all blurry. All right, so there we go. Fold all that down, and then get all this folded up here. Get these over our arms. And then pop this down right here, just like so. And just snap all this together like that. And you got the back, and then peg that into that spot right there. And then there she is. And again, she's just like the Generations one, only she's bigger and she has some die-cast metal into her. Like I said, there's no differences really. Just the colors are different. I'm gonna try and lower this some, or raise it, I should say, whichever one, and then kind of zoom in just to get a better point of view. Man, I'm getting rusty on this. It's like I haven't done a review in forever and I forget how to do stuff. So there she is. And these are the extra pieces right here, like I said. You got her guns and you got her swords. So let's just kind of take a look at these. I'm going to bring in the Generations Arcee as well. Just put her to her side right there so we can kind of see them next to each other. And let me scoot this back a little bit here. Maybe a little bit better right there. Pick up on that. There we go. I think it looks better right there. So you can see the big difference in terms of the height. Weapons wise, let's see what looks different. So on the guns, the oversized one here is pink and gray, and this one is gray and black and pink. So that's that. The little guns here, virtually identical as far as the colors go. You got gray and silver on both of them, or gray, black and silver on both of them. So those are pretty much the same. Again, we talked about the swords already. The big difference on the sword is this silver gunmetal gray whatever right here that's there instead of on this one here. So there's that. The figures themselves, you can see by looking at them, there are some color differences. If we can look at right there, the faces, you can see this like gray here instead of the white there. The gray here instead of the white here. All pink instead of pink and white here. So there's some colors and differences. Obviously the die-cast metal here wasn't on this one here. So some color differences. Now instead of the backpack, you have more, you can see more of her figure right here on the back, whereas this one has the whole backpack. Now if you wanted to, you could have the backpack on like this if you put all this stuff back on this one. But if not, you're left with this one that looks a little bit better, but it's got that open back there. So your preference on as far as what you think you want her to look like. If you're standing on yourself and she's standing like that, you're not going to see that whole gappiness in the back. So I think that looks fine just like that. But alternatively, you could just take this piece and plug it back on here to kind of close up this gap right there. Let's get that on there. So you can close that up, that way that at least that gap is not there and you don't see that hole behind her back there. Now what I was saying about her, this piece here becoming like a shield, you can take this here and you can take one of these guns, we use this little gun here, and you can just plug it in here, even though this one's not meant for it, because you can see that it kind of sticks off to the back right there, or to the side I should say. It'll kind of hang off here, so it doesn't sit in there flush. But I like using this one because I like the pink gun better in her hand. So you take it, plug it in like that, and then just fold this down like this, and you're going to take this one, you're going to sit it on her hand. Either hand works, but you want to sit it to where it's kind of, don't fall over. That's first of all. Take it to where it's sitting on the outside of her hand like this. Okay. Then you can take this and then you use the upper rotation there. Come on. Let's do this. Plug that in to her hand like so. And just kind of have her use this as maybe a shield of sorts. And then you can put her gun in her hand here and just have her, have her firing at somebody. Decepticons, like that, and she got a little bit of shield there. So I think that, to me anyways, is better than having the whole car part up there. So you can situate it a different way if you want. And the thing with these two here, they look really, really big on her hips. It makes her look even wider. So that kind of looks a little silly. I always thought it looked silly on the original one here, but that one makes it even look more, I guess, because they're bigger. So what you can do again. Now, if you're storing them, you can just store them on the side. But if you're just if you want to store these on her, what I did was I just kind of, with these tires, since they do kind of go in, and you can fold them up or down. I just took it and I put it, I think it was right here, like that. And yeah, it's going to kind of hang off the side of her, but it just didn't look as bad as them being on the side of her hips. So I just plugged them into those spots, and they'll get in there once you situate them right. Now, let me get this one back in there. So kind of just like that, and just that way you can have them hidden off on her. Now they kind of do hang off the side right there, but it looks like she just has maybe some swords on the back of her. So to me it doesn't look overly bad. Once we get this out of the way, you can see that they're not sticking out anywhere out of the back. So you really can't see them all that bad. They kind of sit right there. So I mean, I don't know, again, it's your personal preference. You can have them hanging on her hips or put them on the back right there and just get them kind of out of the way there. So for me, I would do it that way. So alright, so let's go into articulation for her. Again, she has the same articulation that this one has here. The head rotates on a ball joint. Left, right, up, down. Upper bicep swivel right here. The arm itself is on a ball joint. And this one's, they're not loose, so that's a good thing. But if you want to, you can always tighten them if you want it more with maybe like floor polish or clear nail polish, something like that. You can do that. Again, got a nice soft ratchet right here on the elbow. Now the one thing I wish they would have done is, I can appreciate they put die cast metal in here, but I really wish that they would have done a waist swivel on this right here. I really wish that would have been the case, because that would have been so much better. It would have made it feel a little bit more like a masterpiece had they been able to put a waist rotation inside there. It would have been so much better. The one thing I do like though is that they got rid of that little nub that would sit there, and you can actually push the guns all the way in her hands. I know with my Generations one, she has that little, let me see, that little extra piece of plastic sitting right there at the bottom, right there. And so whenever I try to push her gun in, it would hit that, and then it wouldn't go in all the way. So I know a lot of them were that way. I think they maybe released another one that wasn't like that. So I'm glad that they did that over here, made it to where she can hold her gun all the way. Let's see. No waist rotation. Again, I think that's something they could have added into this, waist rotation in there, but they didn't include that. The legs themselves, I mean, you're going to get the same, again, just the same posability on the legs. You're going to go up. You're going to go back. Now, if you have this on there, it's not going to go back as far. If you take it off, you're going to get all the way back. Out to the side, not so much. I mean, you can do this number, but that makes it kind of goofy. Pull those on that joint there, and you can really get it out there. So you'd have to mess with it if you wanted to do that, and then pull that down. No ankle tilts as far as left and right, just up and down there. There is an upper knee rotation, and then the knee bends all the way back. So good posability on her. She has the light piping in the eye still. You can see that on the back of her head right there. So overall, a nice figure for $40. I mean, it's a good price, I think, for this figure. So let's see how she looks next to some other, well, not some other, because she's not a Masterpiece, but next to some Masterpiece figures that she would have come into contact with in the show. So let's pull her off. Here she is next to Masterpiece Hot Rod. And I think that looks pretty good as far as scale-wise. I think that's a pretty good scale right there. And I'm way too much in on this. So there's that right there. I think that's a good looking scale. Here she is with the KFC Retgar, and I forget his real KFC name. But there's Retgar next to her. And then lastly, I'm going to bring in Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. And of course, he's a big bad Mamma Jamma, so he's going to go into the back right there. So again, just kind of see just scale-wise. Let me tilt this up. Scale-wise, what they all look like together. So I think she fits in there. In this line, I think she fits in there with them in terms of height like that. Again, is she an MP? No, she's not. But she fits in with the scale for right now. Those are my thoughts on the matter. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can order her from, should you choose to do so. And like I said, I'm going to get the other two reviews out as well. And then just kind of keep the ball rolling from there. So if you happen to know who stole my MP36, let me know. If not, no biggie. Until next time, you guys, thanks for watching and stay safe.